Hi, I'm Mitra Sorrells in the PhocusWire studio, and I am joined by Heather Andrews. She is Vice President of Corporate Payments for the Americas at WEX. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Great to have you. So let's talk a bit about any impacts that you have seen related to the COVID pandemic as far as the digitization of payments.
Oh, yeah. We've seen everything from companies that are just now trying to get rid of their check payments.
Wow.
Because they were running down the hall and giving, checks down to the treasurer or, one desk to another. All the way up to, though, I would say in the travel business uniquely, they're pretty mature in digitization of payments, especially with online travel. And so we've really seen a shift in terms of how they look at the modernization of it. So everything from, we need to start thinking about where are the opportunities to digitize, who should we partner with, how should we be approaching this, and then what do we need to change? A focus on those mature markets that have already been digitizing payments for a while has really shifted towards risk aversion.
Yeah.
How do we make sure that they're reliable, that they're fraud resistant, as well as how do we better wrap this into our overall solution and really viewing the payments as part of their product. It's not just a back office activity or a task. Okay. And those that have done that have done a great job at ensuring that the consumer side benefits also from those payments. So making it seamless for a consumer all the way through to like a hotel or an airline, and making it seamless so that the consumer doesn't even realize it's happening behind the scenes, and it's very real time.
Yeah.
Some smaller businesses we've seen too really want to be able to adopt it more easily. And so like WEX has just recently released Flume, which is a new technology for smaller businesses to be able to do online corporate AP. And it's almost all mobile based, which is more consumer oriented.
Right,
so it's kind of marrying that consumer automation with business to business practices. We're seeing it meld more and more closely together, and the expectations are that they will continue.
Yeah, that's interesting because, and I'd imagine that ties into that feeling that, people are used to a certain way of doing things and a simple way of doing things in one aspect of their life, and they want it to kind of carry over in all aspects. I'm curious, do you sense more of an openness to innovation and an energy around innovation?
Definitely. There's a lot of energy around innovation with, at the same time, a lot of desire to make sure that it's not risky for their business. I think, again, depending on the verticals, travel in particular, they want to make sure that their investment, they get a good return on their investment for every innovation that they make.
Yeah.
And so the thought going into that has been even more of a deep consideration than just trying out things as it used to be.
So, of course, another thing that has become certainly driven by the pandemic and now appears to kind of be our new normal is hybrid work.
Yeah.
I'm wondering any thoughts you might have for how companies should factor that into what they're doing as far as their approach to travel benefits.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge difference. And I think hybrid work puts it mildly. There's this balance between I can work from home sometimes and work in the office sometimes. And that's on one end of the spectrum. And then the other end of the spectrum are these digital nomads, which is one of my new favorite terms that I've heard a lot, where people literally are traveling the world and expecting they can work from anywhere, anytime. And so I think not only the travel industry, but also companies with their travel benefits need to be thinking about how do we keep this, especially younger workforce, engaged and able to be really effective wherever they are. And they're going to be looking for, travel factors, things like, okay, I know this is a nice hotel, but how's the work? Do they have a workspace that I can work at?
Right.
Is it really comfortable? Do they have good Wi-Fi?
Right.
Is it really a good place for me to be able to almost live for a while I'm also exploring?
Yeah, interesting. And what about, of course, the other thing that there's been just so much talk about lately is what's happening with the macro economy and some of the issues out there really around the world. Yeah. Does that impact the need for adoption of digital tools? I mean, what is the convergence there?
I think that when things slow down, if we do end up seeing things slow down more, which we're kind of anticipating, both companies and individuals really start to focus in and narrow their focus on what's most important.
Okay.
What are the things I absolutely need to do? I don't think they'll stop traveling and things like that, but they're definitely going to be looking at what's most important. So I think making sure all the tools and resources are at their fingertips to be able to make quick decisions and be able to know that there are options. Buy not pay later options are going to definitely be on the rise,
Right.
as well as digitization of I know that I can pay with my credit card, but I know I can also use PayPal, and I know that I can also use all these different payment mechanisms, and making sure that it's just easy and streamlined. They don't have a lot of time to or consideration of what are all the different ways I can manage this. They really want just a single solution. They'll be honing in on what's most important, I think.
Yeah, and it sounds like something we've heard a lot about is the need to go ahead and invest now and to take on those new solutions that will then pay off down the road.
Definitely forward looking, and a lot of folks did that during the COVID pandemic.
Right.
Kind of slowed down to speed up later, and we're seeing the fruit of that a lot too.
Okay, wonderful. Well, Heather Andrews from WEX, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you.